The PlayStation 5 is finally released in Europe, and since I live in Ireland, I had to wait a week while everyone in North America was playing their PlayStation 5, and I was here kind of just waiting for the system to arrive. But there's no real reason to complain. It arrived on time, it arrived in perfect condition, and I have it now, so really, honestly, no complaints whatsoever about that. But I would like to talk about my experience with this console now that I've had it for basically about a day now. I really like this system, I really like it a lot. And while it's not the be-all and end-all, no one needs a next-gen console, no one needs to get the PlayStation 5 right away, no one needs to get the Xbox Series X right away, or any console right away, as long as you have games, that's what matters. I do want to talk about just a few things about this console. I will not be doing some in-depth technical analysis, that's not me. I've never been that. I've never been that type of person that could tell you all that stuff, but I do think it is a fun idea to talk about this system, especially from the perspective of someone who isn't very technical. Starting off with the user UI, the user interface itself, I was kind of worried about this because I actually like a very simplistic user UI. I like being able to find things very easily and just being able to pick things very easily, which is why I kind of like the Nintendo Switch a lot. But this here actually works really well. It doesn't have the quick resume that Xbox Series X has, which is actually a really cool feature. But honestly, you don't really, I haven't felt the need for it right now at this moment in time. You have your entire game library here, which is every game I've ever bought on the PlayStation 4, can be easily downloaded, or you can insert a disc into the system. Like, this is amazing, by the way. This is why I love the backwards compatibility of these new next-gen consoles. You pick up this machine, the PlayStation 5, and my entire library of games is here and ready to play. I love that. Of course, we have different versions. We have the installed games, which of course I have Persona 5 Royal, Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2, Final Fantasy 15, the demo for Dragon Quest 11. The reason I have this on the system is because it runs at 60 FPS almost perfectly on the PlayStation 4, so I thought this would be a good test to kind of like see how well the frame rate holds up on this system. And of course, it's perfect. It's fine. Demon Souls, which I bought yesterday, Resident Evil 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I'm about 40 hours into, and of course Sekiro, which I inserted the disc into. I have The Last Guardian as well to install into this, but I've played it before, so I don't really have it on the system right now. There is a lot to love about this user face. You can just literally just click into a game at any point, like that, and it actually loads really quickly. Quickly enough that like it shocked me. One of the biggest things I was talking about yesterday with my friends was I actually picked up Astro's Playroom, and we'll skip this. And I was going to play the game, and usually when I boot up a game, I like will pick up my phone to the side because I know it's going to load for a bit, and I'll start looking through Twitter or something as it's loading. Nope, it gave me no time at all. So you can see here we have like we can load game, and like we can actually like stay offline, go in here. That's our player. And it will load incredibly quickly. Incredibly quickly. And this is the first level in the game, by the way. The first level in the game, so thank God it loaded here, so I'm not going to be spoiling anything for anybody. One of my favorite things about this is the game switcher. So the game switcher allows you to switch between games on the fly really quickly. And while it doesn't pause the game while you do this, it actually still works rather well. So you can just play that right away, and it goes in Dark Souls 3, which is a PlayStation 4 game, which works pretty well on the system too. As you can see, it loaded actually pretty fast into the game itself, which honestly, it depends on the game. Sometimes I'm kind of like, look, that's really impressive, and sometimes it's like, okay, that's like minimal. For example, Dragon Quest 11 was able to load into the game in just about like 10 seconds, which I think it loads like 14 seconds on the PlayStation 4. Like, it's 4 seconds of a difference. There are massive differences though. In fact, I'll show you right now. As you can see, Yakuza Like a Dragon on the PlayStation 4. Which is not bad. It's not terrible, guys. Like, it's not a terrible load-in, to be honest. Like, you could have way worse load-ins on a system like this, or at least from my perspective, you could have a lot worse load-ins as well. I think that like load times are something that like aren't gonna really matter as much as people say they will. They're a cool feature, they're a cool thing, but I don't think load times are even that big of a deal. If I'm being completely honest, they're not that huge of a deal for me personally. But yeah, it loads in rather quickly to the PlayStation 4 version anyway. What we can do though is we can load into the same file on the PlayStation 5 and see just how it loads in and how quickly it loads in. I counted last night, but it's a huge difference. It is a huge difference for people that like are really going to enjoy games like this. This is the first mission as well, guys, by the way. I saved it here just so I could actually do this. Other load times that I've counted in this, Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 4 Pro loads in about 13 seconds. It loaded in like 3 seconds on this. It was pretty freaking crazy. Final Fantasy 15 I think is a minute and like 10 seconds when it was like, or I think it's like 53 seconds when it was like way longer on the other system as well. The point I'm trying to make about this is that it's actually pretty cool. It's not the biggest deal breaker or biggest like seller for me for this console, but I do think that it's a really cool feature to have here. One of the biggest surprises for me that I found was that one of the best running games on the system, now it is at 1080p, is Final Fantasy 15. This is a game that's not optimized for the system, that is not optimized for the next gen yet. I think it will probably get a patch at some point, but like, especially with Final Fantasy 16 coming up. But I can say this with certainty, like, this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I've replayed it twice now, and I replayed it already this year, but I'm already thinking of kind of like trying to replay it again just because it like has that awesome frame rate. And again, frame rate was never a huge deal for me personally, but there's something so cool about seeing these games run this well for like, just for buying a new system. And I think it's important to say as well, as we're talking about these games running very well, they run fine on the previous systems, these backwards compatible games. They run fine. You were going to get a great playthrough out of all of these games, whether from Persona 5 to Yakuza Like a Dragon. I played Yakuza Like a Dragon on the PS4 Pro for a while now, and I can say with certainty that it is like running 100% okay at all times. It runs fine. I also want to add something very quickly about the DualSense, the controller that everyone's been talking about. I didn't believe the hype, I'll be honest, when I heard about this freaking amazing controller that everyone was talking about. Hey, this controller can make you feel like you're like somewhat in the game. And in a way that is like, to an extent, kind of true. It's not as revolutionary as I thought it was going to be, but one of the coolest things about it is when I'm playing Demon Souls, every time you roll, it rumbles in a way that makes it feel like I can feel the surface of the stone on my hands as my character rolls their back off the ground. Another big thing was wading through water, or whenever you get a soul, you will feel it in, like it's coming into the controller itself from killing an enemy. It is so cool to see stuff like this. It really is amazing to see stuff like this, and I like it a whole hell of a lot. One of the other big things that I'd like to talk about, but I don't want to like show off just yet because the only game that I have that really works with cards is Demon Souls. And for anyone who hasn't played Demon Souls before, I don't want to be the one to spoil Demon Souls for you, but I can say that cards are a system where they get you to like let you jump into certain levels. I thought I was not going to use this at all. I'll say this right now, I thought I was not going to use cards at all, but I found myself actually using them to, believe it or not, just jump in to a level in Demon Souls, because I was like, okay, I want to go straight to Stonefang Tunnel. It just lets you jump right in. Just click on the Stonefang Tunnel like card, and it just jumps you right into that part of the level. You don't have to load into the main game, then travel there. Even if you're not there in the game, it will put you there with your actual save file. It will have like a command that will say, hey, do you want to load into this place? And then that's perfectly fine. You get in there really quickly. It works out so well, and I'm so impressed with this game. I really, really am. Overall, I can say, guys, that the PS5 is a really great system, and I think that's one of the things that we're going to learn a lot about next-gen games in general, is that they run very well. But as always, I'm going to say to you guys, you don't need a next-gen system. I think Maximilian Dude talked about this as well. You don't need 4K. We don't need 60 FPS on anything. They're just nice luxuries to have. And I know quite a few people in my audience actually do think about the PlayStation 5, so if there is anything that you want to ask, any questions you would like to be answered, please let me know and I will talk about it. And if you're just here for the Nintendo stuff, that's perfectly fine too, because I'm here for the Nintendo stuff also.